So I was on TikTok the other day and I saw this video. I'm gonna give you guys a second to watch it while I go make my coffee.
Hey, shoot. Can I ask y'all a question real quick?
No, bro,
Hey, can I ask y'all a question real quick? Can I ask y'all a question real quick?
it was good.
Yeah, what's up?
When the last time somebody did something nice for y'all?
Shit. I don't know.
No idea.
A minute ago.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a
man.
long time.
Find somebody that was cool with that. Answer my question. Look, I don't know what this take care of. It's like $200, but that's for lunch. Whatever.
Hey man, I'm
whatever
gonna
you
take
pay.
your money, but I don't really need it like that.
What you
do? We actually own a tech company and shit.
Build software to help the average person be able to make some money in the market.
How much you make from that? If you want me asking.
Shit, last year we did about $5 million.
$5 million?
Yeah.
And y'all still dressed calm?
Yeah,
We just be out the way, man. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
we don't want to be famous.
You gotta reinvest back into a business. When you're building a real business, we reinvest everything back into our company.
I'm 23. What advice you got for me? I'm an entrepreneur myself. What advice you got for me?
Yeah.
Figure out your lane,
Yeah.
stick in it, stick to it, and scale it. You know what I'm saying? Like, one thing about a lot of people out there, they try to do too many different things. If you focus on one thing, you grow it. Once you get to the top of what you're trying to do, you can scale out from there.
Nah, for real. That's
Some
hard.
things are meant to be hustles. Some things are meant to be like, companies and shit. Give you the cash back. too,
Well,
man.
appreciate it. I'm
That's
gonna go
love.
give it to somebody else then.
Yeah,
So I
nah,
appreciate it, bro.
Tap
That's love.
into,
I
yeah.
got you. I be-
Okay, so now that you done watched the video, you know what I'm talking about. The two successful men were the only ones who were humble enough to listen. And lucky for that guy, because he was able to get some gems for himself and for us to walk away with. This video got me thinking about success, what I want for 2023, really how I'm gonna shift my focus, what my focus is gonna be in 2023. And you know, it sent me down this rabbit hole of, okay, now I really wanna hear what other successful people have to say. So I went down this rabbit hole of looking for advice that successful people have for people who are trying to get successful, and I found a lot of good gems, and I really wanted to share those gems with y'all today. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna share. And honestly, I'm making this video for you guys, but I'm also making this video as a reminder to myself for what things I need to be focused on in this upcoming year in 2023. Naturally, our first advice is going to be from those humble men who were just in that video. I fall victim to the syndrome of having a million different ideas in my head at one time and then trying to do multiple of them at one time instead of just focusing on one thing at a time. So when they said that, that advice really triggered me. I oftentimes try to work on too many things at a time, and then quality ends up going down, productivity ends up going down. I end up getting burnt out, and then I end up not even putting out the quality of work that I want to put out. So this advice really hits home for me. In 2023, we are going to have one really good idea, and we are going to nourish that one idea. We are going to grow that one idea, whether it be a business, a YouTube channel, schooling, a certification, I don't care what it is. We are going to take that one idea that we have, and we are going to focus in, hone in on that one idea, whether it be to blow up on TikTok, I don't know. We are going to put our efforts into developing that one thing. And when we do that, quality goes up. We don't get burnt out as easy. We're able to really sit in our learning period and be able to figure out, okay, what's working, what's not working, and then really grow it into something beautiful, you guys. The second thing we're taking into 2023 is we are never going to stop learning, okay, you guys? I am not the same YouTuber today that I was a year ago, and thank God that I'm not, because some of my videos a year ago were pretty horrid. But a big reason why I'm not the same YouTuber that I was a year ago was because I researched and I researched and I researched and I learned from bigger YouTubers, and I figured out, okay, what can I do to make my videos better? That's what I was doing for this entire year, and now as a result, I am a better YouTuber today because of it. Am I gonna stop learning? No, I'm never gonna stop learning, because there's always something as it pertains to your craft. It might not be YouTube, it might be something else, but there's always something to learn. There's always a way for us to elevate. So in 2023, we are not gonna stop learning, okay? The next piece of advice that comes from Scott Shainman, and I actually have never heard this advice before, and I think it's really good. It's view every decision from 1,000 feet up and 360 degrees around. And essentially what he's saying whenever he says that he got that advice from his dad, and he says that it means every decision that you have has repercussions to it. Every action has a reaction. So before you make a decision regarding anything in your life, make sure that you take a step back and really think about how it's going to affect you, the people around you, your money, your life, your just whole situation. I love that advice because I feel like I'm also a big picture thinker. Like I am not impulsive at all, not in the least bit. More often than not, I'm thinking about every decision that I make before I do it. I don't get emotional and then just react just because. When it comes to the two choices of getting temporary satisfaction or preserving whatever legacy I'm trying to build, preserving whatever lifestyle I'm trying to build, I am going to opt into preserving my lifestyle, preserving my accomplishments every single time. So that piece of advice is really, really good, you guys, and I really think in 2023 I already do that, but I'm definitely going to enhance that, because there have been certain decisions that I have made this year that I have been a little bit more impulsive with, and I didn't sit on them for as long as I should or normally do. So definitely taking that into 2023. The next piece of advice that we are taking into 2023 is share your story. And listen, I know that doesn't really sound like much advice, but listen, I'm about to explain to you how this is valuable advice, at least for me. I have always been the type of person to not really give people that much to work with as far as like me and my personal life. And the reason is because I don't like to give people the opportunity to take my situation, take something that I entrusted them with, and then use it against me or throw it back in my face or bring it back up if I ask for advice about something later on. I don't like giving people that amount of power over me. So I would rather just keep everything to myself, and then if something is a need to know for somebody, then I'll tell them. But if it's not a need to know, more than likely I'm not going to tell them. But in 2023, I want to be a little bit different with that. I really believe not being as vulnerable has helped me because, one, people ain't in my business, but I think it has hindered me in a way because relationships need vulnerability to grow. You can obviously decide how much vulnerability you want to have there, but if people don't know your story, it's going to be hard for them to connect with you. And I feel like I have done that a lot on this channel, where I have kind of purposely held back on a lot of really personal things about myself, and in that it makes it hard for my real personality to show, because I mean, y'all don't really know where that personality is coming from. So in both my personal and my professional life, I do feel like I'm gonna have to start being more open. What that looks like, I don't know, I haven't figured that out yet, but I am making it a personal goal of mine to be more open on this channel about the things that make me me, how I got here today, all the sappy stuff that most people don't know about. Now, I don't think I'll ever be the kind of person to share everything about myself. That's just not me. It's not really in my DNA. But I do want to make it a point in 2023 to share a little bit more about myself. And we're just going to do baby steps, you guys. Baby steps. The last two things that I'm going to talk about today, the last two pieces of advice from successful people, I'm kind of going to group them together because I feel like they go together. Number one is think bigger, and number two is play the long game. I am a big dreamer. I think of the biggest dream that I can think of, and then I make it bigger. I do not have regular, down-to-earth, mediocre dreams, and I know that, and the people around me know that. My dreams are very big. I feel like in 2022 I became a little bit more insecure about my dreams, specifically like my content creation journey, because I wasn't seeing growth in the amount of time that I thought that I would when I first started. But in 2023 I'm really just gonna realign myself with those dreams, because at the end of the day, this is what I want and I'm going for it. And really right now, fear has no place in my life. I cannot allow myself to sit in a place of fear, to sit in a place of doubt, to sit in a place of regret. None of that stuff has any place in my life. So in 2023, we're thinking bigger. And I already think pretty big, so that is saying something. What this man said, who gave this advice of think bigger, is if you're gonna put your heart and soul into something, think big. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. The only difference is that those who achieve great things think bigger. And when I read that, I was like, that is like such good advice, because at the end of the day, certain people are called to do certain things, and I can't feel insecure about the fact that other people may not understand what I feel like I was called to do, because they're not going to understand because they weren't called to do it. So in 2023, I'm pushing out all that fear, and I'm going to continue to think big and continue to push towards my dreams, and I encourage you to do the exact same thing. Playing the long game. Now, playing the long game goes with think bigger, because we have this big dream, and sometimes the big dream is not a get rich quick scheme. Most of the time, the big thought that we have, the big dream that we have, takes a lot of cultivation. It takes a lot of sitting and waiting. It takes a lot of behind the scenes work that nobody even knows that you're doing. Most of the time, that big dream is gonna take a long time. And a good point that was made by this successful, is this a man or a woman who said this? His name is Peter. Peter said, with a long-term mindset, you look for situations that deliver significant and permanent future value, often at the expense of short-term wins. The most successful business people see the world in a less transactional way. They're willing to make upfront investments that often don't produce immediate dividends. Short-term gains are rarely the ultimate goal. The right question is not, how can I cash out as soon as possible? Instead, ask yourself, what can I build that will produce long-term value? And when I read that, y'all, that just, I don't know, it changed my whole focus. It changed the way that I see my dreams. Obviously, I already knew that I was playing a long-term game. I knew that already. I'm gonna restart this microwave. I knew that already. Sometimes when you're in the middle of the long-term game and you aren't seeing the small successes that you want to see, it is really hard to foster up the motivation to keep going. And this right here, Peter, I don't know if you watched this video, but you just gave me all the motivation to go really, really hard in 2023. And I hope that that message just gave you the motivation to go hard in 2023 as well. Because honestly, I am claiming 2023. I am claiming 2023 as my year. I have a lot of big things happening in 2023. I'm getting married. I'm gonna be graduating with my master's, and my other things that I wanna accomplish too as well. I'm claiming that stuff too. But y'all, that is the most impactful advice that I have came across whenever I was researching advice from successful people. I hope that something in this video spoke to you. I hope something motivated you for 2023, motivated you to really just go for whatever it is that you're going for in the new year. I can't wait to see what you guys produce. I can't wait to see what I produce, and I really just can't wait to see all of us flourish into the woman or man that we want to be in the future. So that's all I got for y'all today. Make sure you hit that like button if you like this video. Look around on my channel, and if you like what you see, then go ahead and subscribe. Leave me a comment down below if you got something to say. I love y'all. XOXO, and I am Shay.
Thank you.